Hey, what's up, guys? I know I haven't done a video in a while, but I kind of want to go back into doing another fan cast, and I want to share with who I would want to see on a live action Scooby Doo movie, playing the team members, and just giving you general ideas of where I would see the characters going on with them. So, like giving ideas of how I could see their character growing. So, kind of like my treatment slash ideas I could have for like mysteries for each character to help grow. Obviously, you're gonna do the first movie, a movie around Fred, Velma, Daphne, and the last one to be Shaggy and Scooby, because those are gonna be the standout characters throughout the franchise when you're going through it. So I think it would be a 4 film franchise that I would want, and that's it. 4 films. The first movie would be a Fred centric story, and I think a perfect live action version for Fred story to be in the movie would be that have it that he's obsessed with mysteries and traps. He's an obsessive. He's obsessive and that like have that comedic style range up with I think Zac Efron would be that casting for like that the perfect range for that and kind of like doing like a mystery that kind of like best suits to Fred's blind spots and kind of good comedic and kind of growth for the character. Maybe like something like a I don't know, like maybe say kind of like a loose parody of the haunting kind of film, where he gets an invitation to investigate some kind of mystery house, but there's like so many mysteries, like kind of like what Pirate Ahoy was in that aspects of like he's constantly solving mysteries and kind of like that, like kind of like have like a cinematic story that's similar to that, but still having his character grow and having good character moments with Velma, Daphne, Shaggy, and having that stylish, that. So obviously that would be the first movie story. You can reinvent any villain for that to be. My perfect reinvention would be the Phantom Ghost. From I would do a ghost one, like if you guys know that those ones where I don't know if you guys know about that. So I have like a mystery manor kind of thing, and Fred's kind of like obsessed with solving everything, and just I think that would be a good plot for the first film. To bring a good character group together, and I think Zac Efron would play that fun comedic style of Fred Jones on the big screen, and have Fred be like that character who's more serious minded of the group, but has there's silly, funny little quirks about him, like is over obsessive of traps and mysteries, and I think he would kind of have him be like, I don't know where you could go with the character, but that's just where I would kind of go with the character of Fred, and who I think would play a good comedic version of the character of Fred Jones. Let's talk about Velma. Velma, her character is mostly considered to always be the sarcastic, smart one of the group, and I would still keep that into her character, but adding a bit to her character for a fun mystery to give her be kind of be like make it like a scientific story. Like maybe there's like a villain who's creating something and maybe kind of repurposing that concept from Scooby Doo to Monsters Unleashed. Yeah, I'm referencing James Gunn in on a film that he used to do. Funny enough, the actor who plays that was on a TV show that I recently got into, who had a worked with before in the past. Kind of ironic pleasure that I think she would probably be perfect for Velma. And I think you guys are kind of getting the context of two and two together. It's pretty much Aubrey Plaza. I think she would be a great comedic version of Velma onto the big screen. From her quirks of the character from Parks and Rec just screams Velma. I think that would just be perfect for her. Just have her play that character, sarcastic, smart, spunky character. I think that's what you really need to add to the character and give a good mystery, like a scientific story or something like that. Maybe you can center it around like who would be a good like reinvention of the past villains? Maybe like the Electric Bolt Ghost. Maybe like kind of like repurpose something that was kind of like in superhero franchises like in the past. Spoilers on who I was gonna cast for Daphne and Shaggy. Now again, like I said, Aubrey Plaza, I think she would be a great comedic style for Velma, and that's where her character would grow. Have her understand just because she's smart doesn't mean her friends aren't as useful. Kind of have her be like the skeptic, but who learns how to grow with her character with their friends. That's what I would have to do with Velma's character for the franchise, for this 4-film franchise. The next movie you want to do is centric around Daphne. Now, Daphne's character is kind of one note. She's kind of like the always seems to be like the fashionista of the group, which her skills can be used as like good for like range for that. And I think a character who can play to her strengths and weaknesses of casting someone who's kind of smart but not that dim. You know, like you want someone who can play that sarcastic level, who's kind of not that afraid to make fun of situations. So she's kind of like the comedian of the group. She's like the comedian slash fashionista of the group. She has like those aspects that make her character funny, her quirks. And an actor who I always saw as a perfect fit for Daphne is Emma Stone. I think her character is very fun to see on it. Maybe you can have like a mystery. Maybe you can redo anything from the Scooby Doo franchise. A villain I think would be a good parallel for her character is kind of like do something around the circus, maybe, because her strengths would be best suited for that, because she would understand what was like materials that are used. Maybe you can repurpose that character from the circus stuff. I think that would be a perfect capping off for her character growth. And like I said, Emma Stone, I think she would just be perfect. If you haven't seen Easy A, that's pretty much what I see Daphne as. A sarcastic person who has funny little quirks about her, and her interactions with the group, I think, would be perfect. And again, like I did with Zac Efron and Aubrey Plaza, being two actors who worked with each other, that's what I want in this franchise. Actors that are believably have believable chemistry. So getting actors who worked in the past together, I think, would be two mashup pairings. And who do we know would be perfect for Shaggy, Norville Rogers? Well, you need to cast somebody who has some likability in the role. That's one thing you want for him to be. You want him to be a bit awkward in tone. You want him to be not that dumb. Kind of turn him into like a comic book fan, in a sense, like have him be like that kind of esque, like his comic book knowledge kind of helps influence like what he does, kind of making him kind of like wanting to be like a hero. Ironic that there's a Spider-Man poster in the back, am I? Foreshadowing who I would think is just goddamn perfect for Shaggy. Andrew Garfield. Now, this is ironic and another thing, because he actually has a lookalike who played Shaggy in the past, Nick Pilatus. And I always thought maybe, hey, if they ever have done a Clone Saga, they should have used him for Ben. I'm stating that now. If they ever find a way to revamp the Amazing Spider-Man franchise, just get Nick Pilatus to come in for in the Sony universe. Just do that. Just cast the guy who looks like Andrew Garfield. Yeah, I think he would be a former gunning thing. And as a fan, I think that would just be perfect. I think he had the chops. All the traits that he had in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise is exactly what I see as Shaggy. Don't have him, range up very well. I think he's a very range actor for the cast. And a story, I think I would just do the Mask of the Blue Falcon story. I think that would just be goddamn perfect for him. Just do something like that live action. Maybe you can poke fun at like reboots again within the ironic. I think that's just perfect casting, in my opinion, for Andrew Garfield to play Shaggy. That's my ideal fan cast for the Scooby Doo franchise. I might do other ones like for other franchises. I have a big heart for. I think that's just the perfect live action cast. I can picture it, first movie. I don't know what you could title it, but maybe Scooby Doo Mystery Mania. The second one, kind of ironic if they do the Electric Ghost. You could get Scooby Doo Shocking News and something like a pun with the electricity. I know that's kind of that's bad. That's bad. Maybe our Andrew Garfield will help you with that title. I don't know. Maybe that's just kind of funny. That I would think, they have a mystery around the Electric Ghost and Shaggy being actor kind of did something in Spider-Man franchise by stopping Electro. But again, that's just some ideas out there for some titles. There's so many things I think this franchise could be brought into. Let me just name drop who I would want to be the producer for this franchise. Hand down, Tim Burton. Perfect stamp of approval. He would be perfect. Perfect director. You can have anyone who has a good mystery, who can tell a good mystery story. There are multiple people who can do it. I know this kind of sounds stupid. Maybe they can get Christopher Nolan to do the story for them for the Scooby Doo franchise. I know it sounds kind of lame. That's just wish fulfillment. But hey, this is my ideal casting for everyone. I don't know who you would want to get. I think that's just my ideal casting for everything. I may guess maybe more of a realistic director for it. Maybe someone who worked with horror in the past. Maybe Guillermo del Toro or James Wan. Like, I know they're all signed to new other projects, but if they were to ever find an actor that can do a good mystery story together, I think would be a good. Anyone who knows how to tell a good story, I think, could just do it. Maybe the Wachowskis. I don't know. I'm just throwing some possible names out there who could do it. Matt Reeves. I think I may like a good character story. You need something like that for the Scooby Doo franchise. That's how you get people suckered in. Again, that's just me as a fan of this franchise, and just something I'm ironic because I kind of am in the working of a, I think my personality traits are kind of somewhat shared from all these characters in this franchise. It's just that, that's how that's my cast. Tell me what you guys think down below, and who you think would do a good version of Fred, Velma, Daphne, Shaggy. That's just my ideal. Let's go rundown. Fred Jones, Zac Efron, Velma, Dinkley, Aubrey Plaza, Daphne Blake, Emma Stone, and Norville, Shaggy Rogers, Andrew Garfield. I think that's just a perfect cast right there for you guys. And there's I just want to kind of talk one little reason why, where I would go with Shaggy's character. Yeah, you could do this if you want. Pull from Pup Named Scooby Doo and have it that maybe his father is an FBI agent. I know that kind of seems a weird flip up, and he lived with his uncle for a while. Parallels to Spider-Man. I know it's stupid parallels, but that's just my hypophenia coming out. Make basically just turn Shaggy into Peter Parker in a sense. That would be kind of ironic because he kind of did something like that with Spider-Man, but I think there's so many parallels in a lot of franchises. I don't even care if they do that. That's how I would do it. So that's just mine as a fan of this of the Scooby Doo franchise, and I guess superhero geek guy. So again, that's just my fan cast. Tell me what you guys think. Bye. And I probably will do another fan cast for something else. I don't know what.